Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guests. What if, out of the blue, someone you love called you and asked you for help? Let's say your nephew calls you and says, I've been laid off, I'm looking for work. Wouldn't it be great to be able to pick up the phone, make a few phone calls, and get them an even better paying job? So a couple years ago, I read a book called Never Eat Alone by Keith Ferrazzi. At the time, I was a staff officer, and I was eating breakfast and lunch at my desk, looking at Excel and PowerPoint, and I thought, this guy might be onto something. And so I looked at it, and what I saw and what I read in here were principles that I had to bring to this club. So at the end of the day, why are we... Thank you. That was a misfire. At the end of the day, why are we at Toastmasters in the first place? But to get better. So our communication gets better, we get more confident in delivering messages. And then this should give you more confidence in where to deliver the messages to have influence out in the world. This can help you professionally, this can also help you help other people, which I think is a better calling for us after all. So I need to be clear, this is no pie in the sky. Everyone in this room needs the skills that Ferrazzi says in his book to help influence and to help others that we love. Otherwise, your life is, as my old sergeant major would say, a 5-speed finger drill set on half-baked. That is a PG version of that, for sure. So if you look at it as a communal love bank, right now we're all not putting enough in. We're overdrawn in a communal love bank. So we're not able to invest the relationship currency or see the compounding interest of relationships and influence. And so when your nephew calls, you have insufficient, influential funds to make a difference for them. But my friends, like in the Christmas tale for Ebenezer Scrooge, there is still time. So we're going to go through a very simple 4-phase process for a relationship action plan on how to build this network and improve your influence in the world. Step 1 is get a mentor. That seems really simple to get a mentor, but there's a couple things. First off, a mentor, I should say philanthropists, spend millions of dollars to have banks, libraries, public buildings named after them. So surely a little bit of sincere, humble gratitude is enough to get someone to become a mentor. But a mentor can do a couple things. A mentor, number 1, can illuminate the network. He can show you what is out there and what you need to know. He may be able to, or she may be able to teach you in one aspect, and then also will tell you, talk to this person about this aspect where you're trying to grow. So a mentor is huge. That's the first kind of thing, because they'll draw out the network and give you an attack plan. The second part is, as a mentor's talking, you need to be writing. So you create a list. And this is where this project came into me in full view. I've got a friend named Scott, and he has an Excel list of his network. It's huge. Everyone from elementary school to middle school to high school to his years in the Army to his wife's friends. It's all on a list, on an Excel document with an algorithm that tells him if he's contacted that person in a week, in 2 weeks, or a month. If it goes past 2 months, it turns red. And so if you've ever been with Scott, he's always on his phone talking to people and doing this. And I thought, is that a bit neurotic, right? Until I was sitting with him and a sergeant major called from Fort Bragg because he had a soldier that he wanted to work in Florida in an intelligence shop. And Scott was the connector that everything came through. And so this is not selfish, this is not schmoozing, but it's being genuine and then increasing your ability to influence people. So start with a list. So Ferrazzi has a list that he has on Outlook, and he has it by categories. So over here he's got the region of the country. Over here he has it by the industry, and then he's got also just party animals, people that always want to go out of the town. So anywhere he goes in the country, he can connect these people. He gets the party animal with these folks, and now he's exactly. Now he's putting them all together. Pretty powerful concept. And to be organized. And obviously with social media and so forth, there's LinkedIn and other ones now that can do this for you a lot easier. Step 3 is to help. So you want to overuse the phrase, how can I help? In fact, right now, let's all say it. How can I help? One more time. One more time.
How can I help?
All right. And so the reason is because it's generosity is the currency that you put into that bank. So you increase your influence by being this person that can help. You know, I was a good soldier from Bragg that wanted to work in Florida, and Scott's able to do that. Put her there. Now, if he needs something from Florida, maybe to help this person, he then can do it. And that's how the whole system will work. And I'm not talking about The Godfather, where Don Corleone said, "A day may come when I ask you for a favor." That's not what I'm talking about. This is generosity, not greed. Proverbs says, "One who gives freely grows all the richer." So it's one of these things. This wants to be a selfless action. The fourth, though, is to ask for help. This is the hard one. And I think with this group, kind of being a selfish group, this is the really difficult part to do. And so having a strategy will help you for this. Eventually, if you are talking to a mentor, or if you are that sergeant major who's trying to get that soldier to, you have to ask Scott to do something for you. That's a little bit scary, but the way to do it is to be concrete, to be concise, and then to be stable. Let me get those words right. Yep. Concrete, discreet, and then stable. So instead of, at the end of a conversation, instead of saying, "This was great, let's do lunch sometime," it's better to say, "Let's do lunch on Tuesday, how's 12 o'clock for you?" So having that ask at the end is able to do it. Or, "Hey, I really would like to meet this contact of yours, please set this up, I could come by next week." Just that little bit extra having a plan kind of makes that. So now I've got the need, so just visualize what your network looks like a 3D map. What does it look like? It's pretty interesting, right? And then for each one of these, realize that these relationships are like muscles. The more you work them, the larger they grow.
Evaluating Patty, as I spoke to him before his speech today, is never easy because he's so good. I want to go through this. I hope the cat doesn't have my tongue as I'm trying to give you the feedback. Sincerity and conviction, very good level of confidence Patty has when he speaks, very natural, outstanding. Not everyone has that. A credible source of information, absolutely, not a problem there. Opening of his speech, I don't remember the question, I think because I was writing, but it was a question, and the question is a good way to draw the audience in, get us thinking about what you're going to be discussing, get our minds working, always effective in my opinion. Properly use emotion. One thing, it's not really emotion, but pauses, I think can be effective because, consistent with my minimalism, a pause is empty space of time, and it gives an audience a chance to think about, wonder, consider what I might say next. Pause is very effective, I think, and that's something everyone can use, and I thought that would be one thing you might incorporate. A couple of things that, they're not big deals at all, and I think I mentioned this last time or a couple weeks ago. When there's a PowerPoint, we have this light coming out. And if you stand about here, it's okay, but if you back up, now the light's on your face, and then it's on the screen. So how do you get around that? To me, that is just a little distracting when that happens. So I think if you have a pointer, you can point to the screen. If not, if you don't have to get close to the screen to point, I would say don't do it. But it's just distracting to go in and out of the light like that. Small thing, not a big deal at all. I believe you said 4 points in your speech. Am I correct in that? Yeah. I usually say do 3. And again, this goes to my minimalism probably. A teacher once handed us about 40 things she'd recommend for graduate students to do. A list of 40. I can't remember one of them. Now, if she had said 1 thing, or 2 things, I'd probably remember. Sometimes shorter is better. I think 3 is just a magic number. That's my personal opinion. In closing, you had practical and intellectual both, which is a nice balance to have. You had very logical steps to follow, steps 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you also incorporated some humor. You had a quote from, you were doing a quote from someone in The Godfather. I don't know who it was. I haven't probably seen that movie. But anyway, all in all, very good level of confidence, good presentation, very easy to understand, easy flow. All in all, you broke a leg, And you and, I've been thinking of what idioms I'm gonna use when I get up here. My final one is you, Lauren, and your son should go out and paint the town red tonight in celebration. Thank you.